Welcome to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Diane Dennis, here with Jan Engels-Smith. Thank you for joining me again, Jan. Jan is
Yes,
the
you're
founder.
welcome.
Jan is the founder of Lightsong School, 21st Century of Shamanism and Energy Medicine, and she has an upcoming class, September 28th and 29th,
Yes.
called Level 1 Basic Shamanism Journey class through the rabbit hole. Tell me about that. Through the rabbit hole. Are they going to have to go somewhere to get somewhere?
You got to go through the rabbit hole.
Okay. Sounds fun, I think.
Yes. No, it's fun. It's one of my more favorite classes to teach. And at Lightsong, which is the school, Lightsong School of 21st Century Shamanism and Energy Medicine, we offer a full curriculum, anywhere from casual interest all the way through a doctoral degree in shamanism and energy medicine.
And your school is getting some notoriety, by the way. OHSU came knocking on your door to do a study for veterans with PTSD, and it was quite successful using shamanism techniques, correct?
Yes, and that's a published study that people can look at. It's on my website. It was picked up in a journal, medical journal, for the results. So yes, shamanism is an amazing field of energy medicine. It dates back, 100,000 years. In fact, National Geographic did a study on it and showed it back 100,000 years. Now, I don't even think of people being around 100,000 years ago, but the idea is that it's the oldest known healing methods on the planet.
Okay.
And so every indigenous culture that exists had a form of shamanism practiced, lived by these people. We have a very contemporary version of that today, but the laws and how energy works and how you make contact with the invisible realms or the spiritual realms is the same. It's very similar. And we don't teach a tradition. It's not like a particular way to do it, like a dogma or anything like that. But the way that I was taught from the Foundation of Shamanic Studies was that if you looked at all the continents in the world and you looked at what they had in common of how they practiced their healing arts and shamanism, you would take the things that were common out of those and create something. So that's called core shamanism. It means it's the same throughout the world. And that would be a couple things, like using the drum is very typical. Every indigenous culture had some sort of drum. And if you think of it, it's the heartbeat. It's the sound. It's actually in your DNA. It's the first sound you hear as a fetus. And that rhythmic sound has a way of altering your brain waves that allows you to move into an altered state of consciousness, which then allows you to do what we call the journey. So this class that I have in September, and we're talking 2019 now, September 28th and 29th, it's a weekend class. It's in Portland, Oregon. I have people fly in from all over the country and sometimes the world for this. However, it's also offered in an online form at any time, depending on.
And we should point out your email or your website is lightsong.net.
Lightsong.net, that's correct. And the name of the class is Through the Rabbit Hole, Level 1. And so again, if you want to work with me personally, you would come to Portland. If you want to work on your own, you can do it online. But basically, it's the gateway. It teaches you how to make contact with this invisible realm. And I think almost every person alive knows something about a feeling or a sensation or something that happened that they couldn't quite explain. It's sort of mystical or stays in that place of, oh, wow, what was that? That's that invisible realm. That's when you're making some sort of little contact with it. But we are doing it very intentionally in a style that has been used for centuries and centuries. it works. And that's the reason it's still around and being used today, is because it's a very efficient and an effective way to make contact with this realm. And everybody has helping spirits. I was adopted into a Lakota family about 28 years ago, somewhere in there. And one of the elders said to me that each person born has 405 helping spirits assigned to them.
Oh, that just makes me feel warm all over.
I know.
I mean, if we only could remember that, because so many times I feel alone.
Yes, exactly. And it's not a literal number. None of this is like literal stuff, but it's a number that describes abundance and plenty. And just like you said, you're not alone. You're never alone. You have so much help available to you. And these beings are there. They are there assigned to you. You are their project, but they don't necessarily intervene in your life because you have free will. But if you open that door and you say, give me a hand, help me solve this problem, help me get this job, help me, whatever you're doing, whatever the question might be, they're right there to help. And so in the first class, this level 1 class, we introduce you to 2 of your spiritual helpers, your power animal and your spiritual teacher. And so it gets you started. And so what you learn in the first class would be enough that you are capable of doing some journeys on your own after the class is over. So you will come out with a skill set and a whole new perspective on how to look at the world.
I have this feeling that this class might just whet one's appetite for more.
I have a huge turnout rate of people that want to continue. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. So you're helping people, that you're introducing them to that which they didn't know they had access to.
Right.
And maybe they didn't even know what to access. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. They didn't know it. Yeah. That people that usually are attuned to this, there's something that I'm saying that says, yeah, I want to know that. I want to know that. I've always been a little curious. They might have some fear around it because they can't explain it. But I will tell you, I also have a strong science background, and I have learned enough about what's actually happening in your mind, in your brain, that allows these doors to open. It's activating other parts of yourself that have been sort of shut down from our culture, but they're actually part of your brain mechanism.
And aren't there times where you go, I want what's next, but I don't know what's next. You don't even maybe know where to look, and maybe this is it. So hopefully this will resonate with those people that are just sitting and waiting for what's next, but didn't know. So level 1 class, and it's only offered a couple times a year. Is that correct?
That's right. It's offered in September and January because we're a school. And so we start things according to like that school calendar type of.
Okay. So it's the basic shamanic journey class through the rabbit hole, level 1. They can find it at lightsong.net and sign up, because we are now August 20 something or other in 2019, 28. And so this is just about a month away.
That's right.
Give people time to find you and sign up, whether they want to do it remotely if they're not in town, or if they want to come to town or are in town, they can see you.
Right. The video, of course, the video online version is offered all of the time. But if they wanted to do that and then continue on, like most people do, then those other stages are only offered in September and January.
Okay.
I hope it's not confusing, but love to have you in there. And I also am very open to having people ask me questions. And so you can send in questions to my office at info@lightsong.net. And then I do a podcast and I often answer those. So there's a lot of ways to.
You also have a Facebook. Can people join Light Song Facebook page?
Yes, they can. They actually look me up, Jan Engels-Smith.
Okay.
And then also into light song. Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jan Engels-Smith with lightsong.net, talking about her journey class through the rabbit hole, right?
Through the rabbit hole. Yes.
Okay. All right.
See you
We're
down
going to
there.
come back and talk to you another time. Thank you
Okay.
for joining me.